Welcome back. Today we're deep dive into the fascinating world of British numismatics, where we are going to explore some of the most valuable and rare United Kingdom 2-pence coins ever produced. Although the humble 2-pence coin is typically considered everyday pocket change, a handful of these copper pieces have become prized treasures among collectors around the globe. In this video, we will look at the top 7 most valuable UK 2-pence coins, exploring their history, unique features, why they are rare, recent auction prices, and what collectors should look for to potentially uncover serious value in their collections. So let's get started. First up, the United Kingdom 2-pence coin from 1988, particularly examples graded in fine condition. To the untrained eye, this coin often appears as nothing more than a small copper denomination you might still find in loose change. Yet beneath its humble face value, there is a story of history, scarcity, and in certain rare circumstances, surprising auction values that attract serious collectors around the world. The United Kingdom's 2-pence coin was introduced in 1971 as part of the decimalisation of British currency, representing 0.02 pounds sterling. By 1988, this denomination had been in circulation for nearly 2 decades, featuring the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on its obverse and the classic reverse design of the Prince of Wales feathers, a motif created by designer Christopher Ironside. The coin was struck in bronze at the Royal Mint's Lantricent facility, reflecting the standard composition and size that had characterized British 2-pence pieces from 1971 until the shift to copper-plated steel in later years. The 1988 issue was produced in the context of regular mass circulation, with over 419 million pieces minted that year, making it broadly common in circulation, yet still interesting for collectors due to its place in a long and evolving decimal coinage tradition. At first glance, the 1988 2-pence coin may not appear exceptional. In fine condition, the coin exhibits moderate wear with soft details, especially on the high points of the design, but still retains recognizable features. The obverse typically shows Queen Elizabeth II's third portrait by Raphael Maclauff, while the reverse presents the Prince of Wales feathers with the motto, Ich diene, translated as I serve. The coin measures 25.91 millimeters in diameter and weighs 7.12 g, with a plain edge typical of British decimal coinage of that era. Although most surviving examples are of the standard bronze type, certain versions and era varieties have become conversation pieces among numismatists. For example, some 2-pence coins were accidentally struck on blanks intended for other denominations or with unusual metallic compositions, resulting in pieces that are dramatically rarer than the general circulation coins. These error types have occasionally surfaced and garnered significant interest at auction. From a strict mintage perspective, the 1988 2-pence coin is considered common, with tens of millions produced for circulation. Cataloging resources rank its general issue as having typical availability, which means that most coins from this year do not command large premiums above face value, even in fine or better conditions. For Onum, however, within the broader collector community, demand often arises for specific variants, uncirculated pieces, and error coins. Rare minting errors, for example, a coin struck on a blank intended for a different denomination or with incorrect alloy composition are extremely scarce and can generate substantial premiums because they are anomalies that were not meant to enter general circulation. These unusual finds are precisely what pique the attention of numismatists and drive bidding activity in auctions. In recent years, similar error coins from other 2-pence years have sold for hundreds or even thousands of pounds at auction, illustrating how supply, demand, and novelty affect market perception. For the standard 1988 2-pence coin in fine condition, the typical market value remains modest. Current collector pricing guides indicate that circulated examples, even those in above-average grades, often trade for less than a few dollars above face value, roughly between $1 million, depending on condition and the platform where they are offered. It is essential to distinguish these common coins from the rare error types. In exceptional cases, error or unique specimens featuring abnormal blanks or striking faults have achieved much higher prices when authenticated and sold through reputable auctions. There have been listings where specific 1988 pieces have been offered at prices reaching several $3 million or more, though these listings may reflect speculative pricing and should be reviewed with expert evaluation. Properly authenticated error coins that are verified by numismatic experts can command premiums that far exceed the standard values, sometimes reaching into the high hundreds or beyond, depending on rarity, demand, and auction competitiveness. If you are interested in collecting or investing in the 1988 2-pence coin, start by accurately grading your examples. A coin in fine condition is distinct from one in very fine, extremely fine, or uncirculated condition, the grade can significantly influence value. Engage with reputable coin grading services or experienced numismatists for professional assessments. When exploring auction listings or dealer offers, always verify authenticity and condition through trusted platforms and references rather than relying solely on seller claims of rarity or value. Be aware that many common coins are often misrepresented in online marketplaces with inflated pricing intended to attract buyers who might not perform due diligence. Conditioning your collection strategy on meticulous research, documented sales data, and authenticated grading will protect your investment and build your confidence as a collector. The United Kingdom 1988 2-pence coin in typical circulation grades such as fine is an accessible and historically meaningful piece of British decimal coinage, but it is not inherently rare or high value on its own. The broad mintage count means most of these coins remain affordable and widely available. Nevertheless, the world of coin collecting often finds value beyond face denomination, particularly in rare varieties, unusual specimens, and well-preserved grades that attract sustained collector demand. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or a casual enthusiast hoping to uncover hidden treasures in your pocket change, the 1988 2-pence coin reminds us that compelling stories and potential value can reside within even the most modest pieces of metal. With informed research and careful evaluation, what might appear ordinary today could be a notable find tomorrow. Next up, the United Kingdom 2-pence 1990 coin, specifically those found in very fine condition. While the 2-pence coin might seem ordinary at first glance, certain coins from this year have captured the attention of collectors due to their rarity and potential for impressive auction values. Whether you are an experienced numismatist or just starting your coin collection, this 1992 pence coin is worth understanding in detail. The 2-pence coin was first introduced in 1971 as part of the decimalization of British currency, replacing the pre-decimal half shilling. By 1990, these coins were a standard feature in everyday transactions, crafted from bronze, and featuring a classic design that had been consistent since the coin's debut. Despite its widespread circulation, certain minting years and conditions have become highly desirable among collectors, and the 1990 issue is no exception. This coin represents not only a piece of the UK's monetary history, but also a tangible connection to a transitional period in British coinage. The 1990 United Kingdom 2-pence coin retains the iconic design created by Christopher Ironside. The obverse features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael Maklauf, showing the monarch in a regal pose with fine details that reflect her dignity and the era's minting standards. On the reverse, the coin showcases the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encased in a coronet, emerging from a ribbon with the German motto, Ich diene, meaning I serve. What makes the 1990 issue unique is the precise detailing and the quality of the strike, which has endured remarkably well in coins that are now graded very fine. Subtle differences in the rim and relief height, combined with the coin's condition, make it an intriguing piece for collectors seeking both beauty and historical significance. While millions of 2-pence coins were minted in 1990, very fine examples have become increasingly scarce. Coins that have avoided the typical wear of circulation, retaining clear details of the Queen's portrait and the reverse design, are particularly sought after. Collectors value these coins not just for their age, but for their ability to preserve the artistry of the original minting. The combination of limited supply and high-quality condition and the coin's historical context has driven demand significantly. Many numismatists are willing to pay a premium for pieces that exemplify the finest qualities of this 1990 issue. As of recent auctions, a 1990 United Kingdom 2-pence coin in very fine condition can command prices ranging from approximately $2 million, depending on the exact grading and provenance. Coins that approach extremely fine quality or show exceptional detail may fetch even higher sums, occasionally reaching over $4 million in specialty sales. The market value continues to trend upwards as collectors increasingly focus on completing high-quality sets of modern decimal coinage. Auction records indicate that buyers are willing to pay for coins that combine rarity, historical relevance, and aesthetic appeal, making the 1992 pence a noteworthy investment for both collectors and numismatic enthusiasts. For collectors interested in acquiring a 1992 pence coin, attention to grading is paramount. Very fine coins should display clear and defined details on both the obverse and reverse without major scratches or discoloration. Purchasing from reputable dealers or verified auction houses ensures authenticity and accurate grading. Storing the coin in protective holders and keeping it away from humidity and extreme temperatures will preserve its condition, maintaining its value over time. Additionally, keeping track of auction trends and historical sales can help collectors make informed decisions and potentially acquire coins at competitive prices. The United Kingdom 2p 1990 coin in very fine condition is more than just a piece of currency. It is a collectible artifact that represents a specific moment in British history. Its rarity, combined with high collector demand and strong auction performance, makes it an essential piece for numismatists seeking to enhance their collection with modern, yet historically significant coins. Whether you are a seasoned collector or exploring numismatics for the first time, the 1992 pence coin offers both aesthetic charm and investment potential, securing its place among the noteworthy treasures of United Kingdom coinage. Next up, the United Kingdom 1997 2p coin, with a special focus on those in fine condition and why this humble piece of circulating money has captured the attention of some collectors around the world. Coins that appear ordinary at first glance can sometimes reveal fascinating stories about mintages, historical context, and collector enthusiasm, and the 1997 2p is no exception. We will walk through its history, the key features that define it, factors related to its perceived rarity and demand, an overview of its current market value in US dollars, and finally, tips for collectors looking to add one to their collection. The United Kingdom's 2p coin entered circulation in 1971 as part of the decimalization of British currency, and its design remained consistent through the late 20th century. The 1997 2p was struck at the Royal Mint's Lantricent facility with design elements that reflected the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. On the obverse, observers will find the third portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Raphael Maklauf, complete with the traditional inscriptions of her title and realm. On the reverse, the coin carries the iconic badge of the Prince of Wales' 3 ostrich feathers beneath a coronet, flanked by the motto Ich Dien I Serve and the denomination 2p. This design was familiar to those who used British currency throughout the 1990s and early 2000s and represents an era of consistent and widespread usage in daily transactions. Despite its ubiquity at the time, 1997 does not mark a major design change or a limited series. In fact, approximately 496 million of these coins were minted, making this particular date common among collectors and the public alike. At a glance, the 1997 2p coin conforms to the long-standing tradition of British penny denominations. It has a copper-plated steel composition, a smooth edge, a diameter of roughly 25.9 millimeters, and weighs about 7.12 grams. These specifications remain consistent with other 2p coins of the period. The design reflects the artistic choices of the Royal Mint and the aesthetic of late 20th century UK coinage. What can be particularly intriguing for collectors is not the normal circulating example, but any special variations or minting irregularities that may exist. For example, some error coins, including those struck on incorrect planchets or with unusual features, are known from other years to command high values when authenticated. Although documented error coins usually come from much earlier dates, anecdotal evidence suggests that some UK 2p listings on auction platforms show 1997 pieces commanding high prices when sellers claim errors or unique attributes. Ordinary examples, however, retain the standard design, which makes identifying condition and collector grading critical to understanding value. A fine condition coin reflects visible wear from circulation but retains most major details clearly and is one of the more collectible grades among widespread circulation coins. Strictly speaking, the 1997 2p coin is not rare in traditional numismatic classification. With nearly 500 million struck and released into general circulation, these coins can be found in pocket change, coin rolls, and collections around the world with relative ease. Yet despite this commonality, the coin attracts demand for a few reasons. First, many modern collectors enjoy assembling complete date sets of UK coins, especially for every year in the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. Because the 1997 2p is part of that reign's final decade, it holds interest for enthusiasts building comprehensive decimal sets. Second, fine condition examples attract a segment of collectors who focus not on uncirculated mint state coins, but on circulated condition pieces that still present well. Third, curiosity about potential errors or elusive variants, whether in metal composition, die strike anomalies, or design inconsistencies, draws attention to coins that might otherwise be overlooked. It is worth noting that genuine error coins with unusual characteristics can be extremely valuable, and collectors invariably study each coin carefully to confirm if it represents something beyond the standard 1997 issue. However, a typical 1997 2p remains common unless authenticated by an expert as a variant or error. Understanding the current market value of a typical 1997 2-pence coin presented in fine condition requires realistic benchmarks. According to numismatic data, a 1997 UK 2-pence in general circulation, even in fine or higher grades, usually trades for very close to face value, with values measured in cents or a few dollars for slightly better preservation. Price guides indicate these coins might range between approximately $2 million for circulated grades, ascending slightly with improved condition or packaging. Uncirculated specimens can command higher totals given their lack of wear, and bullion or mint set examples may sell for several $3 million. By contrast, verified error coins or distinct rarities, typically those authenticated by third-party grading services or sold through reputable auction houses, can sell for significantly more. For those interested in collecting the 1997 2-pence or UK coins generally, there are several best practices. First, always handle coins carefully and consider using cotton gloves or soft holders to preserve surfaces. Avoid cleaning coins, as this can significantly reduce their market value. Second, learn to grade coins accurately, understanding where terms like fine, very fine, and uncirculated fall on the grading spectrum. Professional graders can assist with this process. Third, if you believe you have discovered an error or unusual example, consult with a reputable coin dealer or submit the piece to a professional coin grading service for verification before assuming high monetary value. Finally, track recent auction sales rather than asking prices on listing platforms alone, because actual realized auction prices offer a more accurate gauge of market demand. The United Kingdom 1997 2-pence coin in fine condition represents an accessible and historically grounded piece of British decimal coinage. While it is not intrinsically rare by mintage numbers or standard classification, it holds value to collectors completing date sets and to those who appreciate circulated coins with character and context. In typical market conditions, its monetary value remains near face value in dollars, but specific pieces with verified errors or unique traits can command much higher prices at auction, whether you are a novice collector or an experienced numismatist. Next up, the United Kingdom 2-pence coin dated 1993. At first glance, this humble 2-pence piece might seem like just another circulated coin you've pulled from your pocket change. However, there is a compelling story behind its design, production, collector interest, and real-world market value that every numismatist and casual observer should understand. We'll explore the history and background of this coin, its unique features, how rarity and demand shape its appeal, what it is currently worth in the auction world in dollars, and practical advice for collectors looking to add one to their collection. The British 2-pence coin was first introduced on February 15, 1971, as part of the United Kingdom's decimalisation of its currency system, replacing the old pre-decimal coinage with a simpler pounds and pence system. The 1993 2-pence coin was struck at the Royal Mint's Llantrisant facility in Wales and was part of the copper-plated steel series that began in 1992, replacing the earlier bronze composition. This change to steel covered with a thin copper layer was made for cost efficiency due to rising metal prices. The obverse features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II in her third official coinage effigy by Raphael Maclouf, while the reverse carries the traditional badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of ostrich feathers within a coronet with the inscription 2-pence. The consistent design and high mintage reflect the coin's role as a workhorse of everyday British small change. In terms of physical specifications, the 1993 2-pence coin measures 25.9 millimeters in diameter, weighs approximately 7.12 grams, and has a plain edge. Its copper-plated steel core gives it a distinctive reddish hue when new, although circulated coins may show wear, scratches, and variations in color due to oxidation. Despite a mintage of over 235 million coins, the 1993 issue has no officially recognized mint mark, and most examples in circulation today are considered common. There are no major approved varieties or design changes recorded for the 1993 2-pence in standard reference catalogs, and no routine mint errors are widely documented for this specific date beyond those seen occasionally as surface or striking irregularities. Although the 1993 2-pence coin is technically a common date coin with a very high mintage, collector interest does exist, largely due to the broader category of British decimal error coins and the general popularity of completing date runs in penny and 2-pence sets. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is determined solely by mintage numbers. Demand for certain types or conditions can elevate interest. For example, coins with notable errors or unusual strikes from other years have sold for significant premiums at auction, such as a rare silver-toned 2-pence error from another year that fetched hundreds of pounds due to its unexpected metal composition. These instances illustrate the broader appetite among specialists for noteworthy pieces. However, for the 1993 2 pence specifically in circulated condition, it remains classified as common, and most examples do not attract high premiums simply because of their date alone. Turning to market value, standard circulated examples of the 1993 2 pence coin trade at modest prices on platforms such as eBay and collector forums. Typical prices for circulated coins generally range from just above face value up to around $3 million at most for very clean or lightly worn pieces. Enthusiasts and dealers note that the expected price for a circulated 1993 2 pence with no extraordinary features is often negligible above face value, reflecting its common status and high supply. Some listings on international online markets have shown 1993 2 pence error coins or unique specimens offered near approximately $5 million or more, but these listings often depend on specific anomalies and buyer interest rather than guaranteed auction results. If you are a collector or considering starting a collection, there are several practical tips to bear in mind. First, educate yourself on genuine error types and varieties recognized by professional numismatic references. Many so-called rare coins offered online are misrepresented or hold little value beyond face. Always verify composite metal coins against established guides to distinguish true mint errors from common circulation strikes. Second, condition matters. Coins graded uncirculated or extremely fine will carry premium values compared with well-worn circulated pieces. When buying or selling, consider professional grading services or reputable auction houses to certify authenticity and condition, which can significantly influence realized price. Finally, stay connected with the collector community through forums and auction results to track trends and avoid listings that inflate values without market support. The United Kingdom 2 pence 1993 coin is a fascinating piece of modern British numismatics with a solid historical background, standard specifications, and a role in the everyday monetary system. While it is generally a common coin in circulated condition with limited numismatic premium, understanding its place within the decimal coinage series and recognizing when genuine error variants may surface is valuable for any collector. Whether you're searching through pocket change or building a specialized collection, having accurate expectations about rarity and market value in dollars will help you make informed choices and truly appreciate the stories behind each coin in your possession. Next up, the United Kingdom, the 1987 2 pence piece. For casual holders and serious collectors alike, this humble bronze coin carries more than just its face value. Today, we will take a deep dive into its story, its design features, why some examples attract collector interest, and what these coins are commanding on the international market in dollar terms. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just curious about what could be lurking in your change, this video will equip you with the knowledge you need to understand the significance of the 1987 UK 2 pence. The United Kingdom's 2 pence coin was introduced in 1971 following decimalization, marking a major change in British currency. The 1987 issue is part of a long-running series struck under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. Like other decimal coins of the period, the 1987 2p was minted at the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, South Wales, and features the third portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Raphael Maclauff on the obverse. The reverse side includes the badge of the Prince of Wales, displaying 3 ostrich feathers enclosed within a coronet above the inscription 2 pence. This basic design remained consistent throughout much of the series, linking it to the broader narrative of British coinage during the late 20th century. The total mintage for the 1987 2 pence is recorded at approximately 218 million coins, making it a common circulation issue within the series. However, understanding its context within decimal era coinage is key to appreciating its potential beyond face value. The 1987 2 pence exemplifies classic British decimal coin design and production standards of the era. Composed of bronze with a mass of about 7.12 grams and a diameter of 25.91 millimeters, it carries a smooth edge and a bold, legible inscription reflecting its denomination. The obverse portrait of Queen Elizabeth II captures the regal detail and craftsmanship typical of Raphael Maclauff's work, while the reverse's Prince of Wales feathers symbolize British heritage. Although the standard version of this coin is common in everyday circulation, it's the subtle nuances such as exceptional preservation, original luster, or rare error traits that elevate certain pieces in the eyes of collectors. Some coins survive decades of handling, yet retain sharp detail and balanced toning, attributes prized when evaluating coins in what the numismatic world terms very fine condition. While the standard 1987 2 pence coin is not rare by production numbers alone, Collector interest arises when particular examples present unusual characteristics or superior preservation. Most 1987 2-pence coins are plentiful, but very fine or better grades are less commonly encountered in secondary markets compared to heavily worn specimens. Additionally, numismatists remain alert for rare varieties or mint errors, such as off-center strikes or alloy anomalies, which can dramatically increase a coin's desirability and auction performance. It is important to differentiate between genuinely rare mint errors and standard coins simply listed at high prices. The numismatic community often cautions against overvaluation based solely on online listings, particularly when misinformation or speculative pricing circulates. Nonetheless, within organized collections and auction contexts, well-preserved examples of the 1987 2-pence attract bids that reflect scarcity in higher grades rather than everyday face value. At present, market guides and auction results indicate that a typical circulated 1987 2-pence coin in very fine condition can fetch a modest premium over face value when sold to collectors. Based on aggregated marketplace data, values for this year and type range from approximately $1 million in very fine grades, with uncirculated versions occasionally reaching around $3 million or slightly more for particularly pristine pieces. These figures translate the British pound estimates into US dollars for an international audience and reflect recent online sales and listing trends. While ordinary examples trade at low collector prices, some specific coins listed at very high values often represent outlier cases or incorrect descriptions rather than confirmed sale prices, meaning buyers and sellers should interpret extreme online prices with caution. For anyone interested in collecting or evaluating a 1987 2-pence, careful assessment of condition is paramount. Use magnification to inspect detail on both the obverse and reverse, looking for wear patterns, luster, and any anomalies that could distinguish a coin from the average. Consider consulting third-party grading services, which can provide authoritative condition assessments that support higher auction values. Research sold prices rather than asking prices when estimating value, and use reputable auction records and coin catalogs as reference points. Marketplaces like specialist auction houses, numismatic forums, and dedicated coin dealer platforms often provide verified price histories. Always handle coins by the edges to avoid oil transfer and preserve surfaces, and store specimens in inert holders to maintain condition over time. Engaging with community resources and expert appraisers can also deepen your understanding of subtle variety and rarity factors that affect value. The 1987 United Kingdom 2-pence coin, while mass-produced and common in circulation, holds a distinct place in the numismatic world. Its historical background ties it to the evolution of British currency under Queen Elizabeth II, and its design evokes the craftsmanship of late 20th century minting. In typical conditions, its market value remains modest, but examples that survive in very fine or better grades can command collector interest beyond face value. By understanding key features, market dynamics, and valuation principles, collectors can make informed decisions about acquiring, selling, and appreciating these coins. Whether you already own one of these coins or are considering adding it to your collection, the 1987 2-pence offers a fascinating window into the broader world of coin collecting. Next up, the United Kingdom, the 1992 2-pence coin. Often overlooked in everyday change, this humble 2-pence piece has captured the imagination of collectors globally, not because it routinely commands eye-watering auction prices, but because of its unique characteristics, transitional history, and the occasional rare varieties that emerge from collections. Whether you are an experienced numismatist or someone who has just discovered old coins in a drawer, this video will give you a complete insight into what makes the 1992 UK 2-pence coin worth examining and potentially valuable. The United Kingdom's 2-pence coin was introduced in 1971 as part of the decimalisation of British currency. The design featured the third portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse and the Prince of Wales's plume on the reverse. In the early 1990s, and specifically in 1992, the Royal Mint implemented a significant change in the metal composition of this denomination. Prior to 1992, these coins were struck in bronze, but that year saw a transition to copper-plated steel in order to reduce production costs and align with evolving material standards. As a result, collectors today can encounter both bronze and copper-plated steel 1992 2-pence coins, depending on the specific strike and set they derive from. The recorded mintage for the 1992 UK 2-pence in circulation was approximately 102,247,000 pieces, a figure that may seem large but is lower compared with some adjacent years, especially when considering collector interest in transitional types. The 1992 2-pence coin embodies a distinct place in British decimal coinage due to its mixed metal profile. Standard circulation strikes from this year were minted in copper-plated steel, giving them a different weight and magnetic quality compared to earlier bronze examples. Bronze strikes from proof and brilliant uncirculated sets still exist, making those specific pieces more interesting to collectors who seek original composition variants rather than typical circulation strikes. In terms of design, the coin carries Queen Elizabeth II's third portrait, created by Raphael David Maclauff, accompanied by the inscription Elizabeth II DG Reg FD 1992. On the reverse, Christopher Ironside's iconic badge of the Prince of Wales continues to grace the denomination with classical elegance. Beyond materials and design, what makes some examples stand out are the occasional errors or anomalies that can occur during production, such as incorrect blanks or misstruck details, which are separate from the standard circulation pieces but highly prized when authenticated. Despite the relatively high mintage, collectors consider the 1992 2-pence coin to be more interesting than many other typical circulation coins because of its role in the transition from bronze to copper-plated steel. Pure circulation strikes in fine or very fine condition are common and generally not rare in a strict sense. However, bronze versions from proof sets or uncirculated sets are much scarcer, and these distinctions matter greatly in the numismatic community. Moreover, the broader market for British era coins has motivated many collectors to examine their 2-pence coins closely, seeking unusual varieties, mismatched blanks, or other anomalies that could elevate a standard piece into a sought-after collectible. While the standard 1992 2-pence is not itself an error piece, its place at the juncture of material change and the existence of multiple strike types increases its appeal. Rarity, in this context, is defined not purely by mintage but by collectability among those who specialize in modern British coinage and transitional pieces. For most circulated or fine-condition 1992 2-pence coins, market values remain modest when compared to rarer numismatic pieces. Standard circulation strikes in fine condition typically trade for only slightly above face value, often quoted at values equivalent to a few US cents to fractions of a US dollar in online price guides and listings. For example, price guides list typical circulated values anywhere from $2 million, depending on exchange rates and demand. Where significant value emerges is with special varieties, including bronze strikes from proof sets or error examples. These pieces can command higher premiums among collectors and often sell for several dollars to several tens of dollars on platforms like eBay or at specialized auctions. Listings for proof or brilliant uncirculated 1992 2-pence pieces have been seen at over $3 million, depending on market conditions. Rare error or unusual variants, authenticated by reputable numismatic services, can sometimes achieve even higher auction prices, though such instances are far less common and dependent on buyer interest and condition. Collectors focusing on the 1992 2-pence coin should start by understanding the distinction between the different metal compositions and strike types produced that year. Invest in a quality loop and reference guides to help differentiate between copper-plated steel circulation strikes and bronze proofs or uncirculated pieces. Always handle coins by the edge to avoid fingerprints or damage that can reduce value. For those exploring error possibilities, ensure you consult with reputable numismatic experts or send pieces for professional grading before assuming high values, since misidentification and overinflated online listings are common in the hobby. Finally, keep abreast of completed sales data from auction houses and verified platforms. Actual sale prices offer more accurate indicators of market value than listing prices, which can be speculative or inflated. The United Kingdom 1992 2-pence coin represents an intriguing chapter in British decimal coinage due to its transitional nature and the variety of strike types produced that year. While standard circulation examples in fine condition remain modest in value, the appeal to collectors lies in understanding the nuances of composition, special strikes, and potential errors. With informed collecting, careful examination, and awareness of market trends, enthusiasts can appreciate both the historical significance and the numismatic potential these coins hold. Whether you are sorting through old change or building a modern British collection, the 1992 2-pence coin is a piece worth knowing. Next up, the United Kingdom 1994 2-pence coin in very fine condition. At first glance, this modest copper-colored coin may seem like any other piece of pocket change. Yet when examined more closely by collectors, its story offers insight into what makes coins collectible and valuable, reminding us that even everyday currency can be part of a fascinating historical tapestry. The United Kingdom 2-pence coin was introduced in 1971 as part of the decimalisation of British coinage, replacing the old pre-decimal pence system. The 1994 2-pence carries the third portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, struck at the Royal Mint's Llantrisant facility. The coin's reverse features the traditional badge of the Prince of Wales, designed by Christopher Ironside, an iconic image that remained consistent through many years of issue. In 1994 alone, over 531 million of these 2-pence coins were minted, making it a production run by contemporary standards quite large and reflective of ordinary circulation needs. Physically, the 1994 2-pence coin measures 25.91 millimeters in diameter, weighs approximately 7.12 grams, and is composed of copper-plated steel, a shift from earlier pure bronze compositions adopted in the late 1990s for cost and manufacturing efficiency. Its plain edge and familiar size make it immediately recognizable in the pocket or purse. The obverse portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, wearing the diadem, reflects the long and stable reign that shaped much of modern British coinage. The coin's metal and design are consistent with the wider decimal series and represent an era immediately preceding the broader redesign of UK coin reverses introduced in 2008. Despite its rich heritage, the standard 1994 2-pence is not rare in the strictest numismatic sense. With over 500 million struck, the vast majority of these coins remain common in circulation or in collections. Even in very fine condition, which implies moderate wear but clear detail, the coin's scarcity is low compared to genuinely rare issues or minting errors. Most examples in very fine condition will not command high premiums. Typical market values range modestly above face value. That said, the broader collector market does prize distinct variants or unusual examples from this era. For instance, specially struck proof or uncirculated versions, or coins exhibiting genuine minting anomalies, can attract significantly more attention. The Royal Mint occasionally issues proof or limited editions around major events or sets, and these can become desirable to collectors who specialize in British decimal coinage. When we talk about auction market values in dollars for the 1994 2-pence coin, the mainstream collecting community offers a realistic picture. Standard circulated coins in very fine condition generally sell for $5 million in online sales and collector listings. Even certified coins in higher grades typically do not reach high-value auction prices because of the coin's common mintage and material composition. Occasionally, coins with exceptional provenance, higher grading, or those embedded in numismatic sets can attract premiums reflected in sale platforms and specialist auctions. Listings for certified proof examples or rare presentation issues show prices that can be an order of magnitude higher, sometimes reaching prices in the $6 million or more when paired with certificates or numismatic packaging. It is also important to contextualize overly optimistic claims about astronomical values. Some online videos or marketing pieces tout hypothetical astronomical figures even into the millions for specific variants of this coin, but these should be treated with skepticism unless supported by verified auction records from recognized houses such as Stack's Bowers, Cherry Picker, or Baldwin's. For collectors, the 1994 2-pence coin presents a good learning opportunity about grading, market demand, and how rarity is defined. First, properly evaluate a coin's condition using established grading guides. Very fine, impress light, even where with all major details visible. Next, compare similar graded examples across multiple marketplaces to establish a realistic price range. Always differentiate between standard circulation strikes and special mint issues. The latter often carry higher premiums. Certified coins graded by reputable services like NGC or PCGS can provide assurance of authenticity and condition, which is especially useful if you intend to buy or sell at auction. Additionally, be aware of how error coins, such as those struck on the wrong blanks or with die mismatches, can significantly elevate value. While these are rare, error 2-pence coins from various years have fetched higher prices when authenticated and properly marketed. When in doubt, consult experienced dealers or numismatic societies to verify unusual finds before assuming high values. The 1994 United Kingdom 2-pence coin in very fine condition remains a coin with a robust historical pedigree, a familiar face in British coinage, and a cornerstone of many decimal collections. Its high mintage means that for most collectors it is valued more for its place in the decimal story than as a high-value asset, with auction prices in dollars that generally reflect its common status. That said, special variants, proofs, and certified gems offer avenues for higher premiums, making this coin an enduring subject of interest for both novice and seasoned collectors alike. If you enjoyed learning about this rare British coin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more videos on valuable UK and world coins that could be hiding in your collection.